So let's transition to our second topic. We're going to talk about tilting and gaming and
Oh no.
after all that good stuff, we don't have to, but we kind of have
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
talk about this topic. So I'm going to kind of set it up first before we get into your situation. So just in case there's anybody that's like watching this on YouTube or it's in chat that doesn't know about Hearthstone, that's the main game that Dmoney's played and I played as well. It's a digital collectible card game. So there's minions or spells. You don't really need to know all the details of it. You just need to know that there's a lot of opportunities where there's what we call RNG or randomness that happens that has a tendency to tilt people. And it's also a card game. So like any card game, there's going to be opportunities where you get the card you want or you don't get the card you want. Or vice versa, your opponent gets the card that they want that beats you, or they get the card that they don't want and you win. So kind of the big thing to know from all that is that there's all these different scenarios. You can always be on edge at any point in the game. You might get ready to win and then you lose. And so we're going to talk about tilts and as it relates to Hearthstone, but really I think it will really relate to a lot of different games. And so I'll read off the definition for everybody. So, and this is from Wikipedia, so not the most official definition, but it jives with the conversation that we're going to have. So tilt originated as a poker term. So it's like for the state or mental or emotional confusion or frustration, which a player adopts a less than optimal strategy, usually resulting in the player becoming overly aggressive. Tilting is closely associated with another poker term called steam. And then, placing an opponent on tilt or dealing with being on tilt for oneself is an important aspect of poker. So it happens relatively frequently due to frustration, animosity against other players, or simply bad luck. So to sum all that up, going on tilt is when you're like, oh my God, this happened to me, or oh my God, I made this mistake. I got to change what I need to do now. I'm getting angrier. I'm getting more nervous now after what I just did. So there's some event that happened and now my mood is shifted and I'm probably playing a little different or I got this in the back of my head. So that's the background for everybody that doesn't know about Hearthstone or tilting. So we wanted to talk about this and I'm going to let you talk for a bit since I've been talking a lot, but so you've been playing Hearthstone for a while, and how often do you think you feel this tilt in Hearthstone?
Yeah, I've also played quite a bit of poker as well.
Yeah.
I love poker.
Yeah.
But that I do know that it's very tilting at times because it does contain that randomness factor. Like there is a lot of skill in it, sure, but if you just don't get dealt the right cards or the right cards just don't come out, then you just lose sometimes. And so you said how often do I get tilted? That was the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Uh, I can get tilted very easily, so I get tilted many times every day by the game.
Many times every day. Okay. And so I know when we kind of talked about a good topic to talk about, we talked about tilt, which I think is a fantastic one because as I was starting this YouTube coaching platform a couple months ago, I was planning to write articles, I was planning to do videos, and one of the first videos I was going to do is how to not get tilted in Hearthstone. So that was going to be like one of my first couple videos, and then I just decided not to publish it or make it, but maybe someday. So I guess and I'm glad you did mention you'd played poker before too. So kind of the difference between poker and Hearthstone is poker, you have the draw randomness, what card you can get. Hearthstone, it's kind of like exponential. Like you have your draw RNG or your draw randomness, but then you have other random, like a whole like several hundred layers of other randomness on top of, because each card itself isn't like a number card like it is in poker. It's a card like you play this and then it does a random effect. And sometimes that's really, really good for you. Sometimes it's not that good for you. And you have all this different variation, a range of outcomes you could have from just each card. So it's so much variation in how every game can go. And I think that's actually pretty good for the game in some aspects for entertainment and for playability, but it can be like you said, very tilting. If especially if you're playing for high stakes, especially if you're playing in a tournament. I.e. Babbling Book, several years back.
Yeah.
But so tell me about a situation. If you can use this, be as specific as you want, like from Hearthstone or poker or any game. Tell me about a specific situation or example where you were tilted.
uh, I mean, I could give you an example from today.
Yeah.
So I was playing against Turtle Mage, and I had I had just discovered randomly a card that I thought was going to give me enough damage to win the game. And then I played it, and then I played a card that's supposed to give you the perfect card, but it didn't give me the perfect card for some reason, which it apparently that's in the unwritten rules, and I ended up losing that game because I didn't win that turn. But I should have won that turn based on what the cards say and everything. So it wasn't really randomness, but it was a random unwritten rule, and it really that really spiraled me out of control with like the tilt today. Couldn't really recover from it.
I think I saw your tweet about that. So I think it was Zephyrus, and he didn't give you.
He
What
didn't
was
give me
it?
a blessing of might.
Blessing of Might. Okay. So
Yeah.
1 mana +3 attack, right?
Yep.
Yep. So that would have been enough to give you lethal, but it didn't offer that. What did it offer, by the way? Do you remember?
Lava burst, fireball, and something else. I only had 1 mana.
Yeah, you
Too.
only had 1 mana,
Um,
so
but I needed 5 damage, and I had a Tiamat with Rush and or with Wind Fury on it, so it was able to attack twice, and it would have got me enough damage if I got that. But apparently, it doesn't offer you that. That's just
oh man,
a thing that you have to figure out yourself. So, yeah.
yeah, interesting. So yeah, that is a little bit different. Yeah, I think that's a good example though. So what are the thoughts that you're having in that moment when Zephyr doesn't give you that card? What are the thoughts? What are the feelings that are going on?
The thoughts are like, oh my god, I just lost, and I should have won, and this is so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had an expectation of a specific outcome that Zephyrus was going to give you, and Zephyrus is kind of a tricky card because. So for those of you that don't know, most of you probably know, but Zephyrus is a card where you get 3 options of a card, and it's supposed to be the best card for you to win the game. And so the expectation that Dmoney has is like, okay, well, this should be with how much my situation, my very specific situation, it should give me this specific card, and it didn't. Now it's probably a little extra tilting with this card because it's heavily programmed and it's supposed to give you always the optimal situation, but yet we hear occasionally on Twitter where it's like Zephyrus didn't give me the right card. This is not what it was supposed to do. This card, there's something wrong with this card in this situation. So
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't the best example for tilt because it's very specific and
that's okay.
niche, but
I think it's okay because it's a little bit less on the randomness side, but you still feel tilted though, right? You expected something to happen,
yeah,
and there was a very strong chance that was going to happen, but it didn't happen.
yeah, like it should have happened, but it just didn't. And now, as a result, I wasted my time and I lost ranks on the game,
Yeah.
and I got very frustrated. So it's yeah.
Yeah. So you got frustrated because you lost ranks, and so that feels like what does that feel like losing ranks?
Yeah, I mean, when I lose ranks on stream, it feels like I'm letting myself down. I'm letting my viewers down as well. I feel like I'm going to lose people now. Maybe people think I'm bad. Uh, maybe I won't get to the top rank again because I feel like there's a lot of pressure just trying to be like one of the top players. Because when you are a top player, then you get more viewers, and that's always in the back of your mind. So there's that pressure on you, and then it's
Hmm.
also I don't remember what the other one was. Uh, yeah, I think that's all I got. I don't
Yeah.
remember the other reason, but
Yeah. No, that's a great description though. So there's so much pressure. So if this were back in more than 365 days ago, when you're streaming to 0 or less people, do you think you would have been as tilted?
uh, yeah, it's still the same kind of
It's,
mindset. It's just like the better I do, the more people will watch me,
Mhm.
and that's just always in the back of your head, I think.
Okay. So it wasn't as much the people in chat there, but it's like I need to have a higher rank. I need to constantly be winning and winning and winning. Anytime I'm not winning, I have less chance to attract more viewers and less, I get disappointed in myself.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just letting people down, and it's embarrassing. I don't know, for me sometimes.
Did you let everybody down by losing that game?
Not necessarily that game because that really wasn't my fault.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that example was probably it was just more stupid than uh like randomness screwing me over. So
Yeah,
it's a little different.
sure. Now, how actually, I'm kind of curious. What do you think is your win rate overall? I know it's kind of you played a lot over the last, 7 years, but like maybe the last year. What do you think is your win rate?
Uh, I mean, I think I definitely win more than I lose.
Hmm.
Maybe 55%.
Yeah, 55%. That's what I was gonna guess too, because I think that's like the best players usually are like 55, maybe 60% for like those top level. Just roughly guessing, but I know 55%'s been kind of that magic number. So 55% of the time you win the game. So that means 45% your opponent wins the game, or 45% you lose.
That's true.
So that means 55% of the time, or 11 out of 20 games you win, and then 9 out of 20 games you lose. So
Mhm.
so you feel like you let people down 9 out of 20 times.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you see how maybe that could I can see how that could put a lot of pressure on you and affect your day and that because you got all this pressure of doing better. I mean, it sounds like you kind of feel like you have to win every game.
Yeah, I mean, if it's my fault for losing the game, which I feel like I do make a lot of mistakes. So I feel like I make a lot of good plays, but I also make a lot of mistakes. And when it is a loss because of myself, because of just stupid mistakes, then I just feel really bad about it.
Mhm. Yeah, I get that. So you're human, right?
Yes,
Now, do humans make mistakes?
they do.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know I'm asking some really
Yeah.
dumb questions, or it seems like kind of dumb questions, but this is part of like coaching is just asking some really obvious questions, kind of help us step there. So you're human, you make mistakes. Um, Now I think we talked about this even earlier. Trying to balance. You're balancing a lot of things when you're streaming and playing the game, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, you're balancing high level gameplay. You're balancing interacting with chat. What else? Is there anything else you're probably balancing?
Being entertaining, I
Yeah, being
guess.
entertaining. Yeah, yep. I was thinking that. So you're kind of doing three things at once. So that's like I feel like that's like having a conversation with 10 people while playing chess, and then while doing the tango or something like that on a screen.
Sounds
Do
like a
you,
typical Friday night. Yeah.
yeah, typical Friday night at the Dmoney household. So I mean, you got the talent, you can do that. But I don't know about you, but for me, that would be a lot to do. Well, let me ask you this: do you play better off stream than on stream?
Well, I don't really play too much off stream anymore,
Okay.
but I do play a lot better when I'm not focusing on like chat too
Hmm.
much.
Sure, it's understandable, right? We got one brain, and we only got so much focus. And how do you feel about your 55% win rate? You feel like that's a
Feel good about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel good about that. So I think that's one thing to maybe remember, right? Again, if you win 55% of the time, means you're going to lose 45% of the time, but you're pretty happy with 55% win rate. And based on the statistics that have been thrown around on HS replay, or throughout the several years that I've learned about Hearthstone, it's a pretty good win rate. But you're going to have losses, right? So
Yeah.
we kind of talked about this a little bit in the pre-show meeting. So you get tilted, you get angry, you feel all this pressure of, oh, I just lost this game. I mean, let's say it's a different example where you made a mistake. Do you have another example or maybe a mistake that you made? I might have saw one earlier today. Not to bring it up, not to bring it up with you, but
go for it.
The Ysera one. I happened to be in their stream earlier. You had Ysera, you had Inner Fire, and then all of a sudden you drew a couple cards. You drew Kronks, and then you're like, oh my god, now I have a new play, and now there's time running too, and you're like, so now like you spent 85% of your turn looking at this one play, and then all of a sudden you drew some new cards, and you're like, new information, new play. And I'm not criticizing you too, because that's a tough play to make out of nowhere. I had the good fortune of watching the whole play and analyzing it without having to have the pressure on me and without having to read chat. I could say, at least for me, and I don't know if it would have mattered whether you would have won or not, but you could have played Inner Fire first.
It did matter, actually. I lost he had 1 HP at the end, by the way.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So you made a mistake. But again, you're human, so that's okay. What all do you lose when you make a mistake and you lose a game like that?
I mean, I lose rank.
Yeah, lose rank.
That's about it, I guess.
That's about it. Yeah. Yeah, you're not.
There's a lot of judgmental people in chat, so sometimes it weighs out. It weighs down on me harder than it should.
Yeah, what are some of those, if you care to share, what are some of those judgmental things that people say in chat? Or do you just think they not even say anything and you just know they're judging you?
I mean, sometimes they don't have to say anything and I'll just think all the thoughts myself. That's usually what I do. I just reflect on things too much. But I mean, some people will tell me that I'm bad or stupid, made a bad play or something. And like sometimes they're just joking and whatever, but sometimes the bad comments usually just outweigh the positive ones, and they really stick with me a bit too much.
Yeah, it's understandable. You're not the first Hearthstone streamer or any streamer that said that. I think just about everybody's been in that spot where you feel like, oh my god, I made a stupid play, and then I mean, especially as you be bigger and bigger as a streamer, it's probably gonna, sadly, and I'm not saying this is, to mess with your psyche, but there's probably gonna be more and more of that, actually, unfortunately, which would make somebody not want to grow as much. But I had this feeling, because I know you're a great streamer, you got a great attitude, you're hardworking. I know this is gonna be something that I think we can work through together pretty well. So. Do you remember any really awesome plays you made today?
Off the top of my head, no. Actually, one or two probably.
Yeah. So, this. I'm really glad you said that, because I think that's pretty typical. Do you think you remember? Do you think you remember more bad plays than your good plays?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all do, for sure, because those bad plays really stick with us, because then, especially we have those thoughts, especially I think in Hearthstone too, we have this expectation. When we set out this expectation or this outcome, we expect to win. We forget if we have a really good win rate, whether it's 53%, 60%, 55%, there's still a strong chance we're going to lose. And there's so many different outcomes that can happen that when we just expect to win, okay, I'm going to win. I had the mindset I'm going to win 100% of the time. I'm not saying this is you, but I think just in general. Like, a lot of times we get this mindset, hey, I'm going to win 100% of the time, but I'm going to have a 55% win rate somehow. Not saying that's you, but I think that's that's why I asked about your win rate, because we got to remember, okay, you're pretty happy with that win rate, but there's going to be losses, there's going to be mistakes, along the way. I do like some of the ideas. We're going to talk about those ideas in chat here in a little bit when we do the Q&A. But so getting back to where we were. So you feel frustrated, you get criticized in chat, and then you start questioning yourself more. You're already frustrated. You're like, oh man, I made this mistake. I should have played Interfire. I shouldn't have trusted Zephyrus or whatever that is.
Mhm.
So how do you want to show up on stream, and how do you want to react in that situation? In an ideal world, how would you like to react?
I mean, it's tricky because I like the fact that I tilt for the entertainment factor, but I don't like tilting because it just brings my overall mood down most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very very tricky balance because I think especially in Hearthstone. So we talked about this a little bit. You know, having that frustration is entertaining. It also probably makes you really relatable to a lot of people. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Because I think most people would feel the way you do. I'd say a strong majority of people feel the way you do is like, oh, I made this mistake, or oh, this happened to me. I'm pissed off now, and I'm gonna be pissed off for the next couple games, or I'm gonna be pissed off the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So you have that balance. You want to entertain, you want to continue to be relatable for the stream, but you don't want this to ruin your psyche. You don't want this to ruin your day. And we already talked about the definition of tilt. So do you feel like your next couple games are sometimes worse after you go on tilt, after you make maybe a mistake?
Uh, Possibly. I don't think it too much,
Okay.
but just my overall mood for even just the rest of the day. Like when I end the stream and I go down to eat dinner with my parents or something, I'm just like so not in a good mood. Like I just
Yeah.
don't even want to really talk. I'm just like pretty just frustrated overall. Even if I got like a lot of subscribers or anything, it's just like the overall my overall mindset from playing the game and getting tilted is just overbearing, I guess.
Yeah. So it sounds like kind of the ideal situation is you want to you want to entertain, you want to maybe have the reaction of the tilt and the frustration, but once the stream's over, or maybe once that game's over, you want to kind of shut it off. You want to go back to even keel.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a coach, I already have ideas, but the important thing is that you come up with the ideas and you buy into this type of idea. Because ultimately, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So, let's say you have that situation. The inner fire on Ysera. Oh, I should have saw that line. I didn't see that line. I did that. So now we get to the end of the game. What are some ways you think that you can get past that quicker?
I mean, I try to like say things like it happens, like I make mistakes, like whatever, like I'll just try not to do it again, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll make some excuses for myself or something. Um, I try to say those kind of things to make myself not tilt as much or take away some of the tilt, but it's overall like deep inside, it really doesn't help too much.
Okay. So we're ready to try something different. So
Yep.
um, so you're kind of giving your mental pep talk. Hey, I'm gonna get through this. So and you're angry, you're frustrated in the moment. What are some other ways you think that would help? So let's say you're getting ready to you just have this happen. You get to the end of this or the end of that game. What do you think would happen if you just kind of pause and take a deep breath before you queued up the next game? You think that would help at all?
It would help a little bit. Yeah, I feel like a big thing is just like trying to just reset essentially for the next game, and I feel like that's pretty difficult sometimes.
So what do you think if let's say if you're just playing not even competitively. If you're not playing the game for super high ranks or super, try to be high ranks so that you get high views, would you care as much?
I think I wouldn't get tilted as much
Yeah.
because then it's just like I'm just trying to have fun pretty much, and I don't really
Yeah.
care if I lose.
Yeah. So it kind of takes a lot of that pressure off, right? That you
Yeah.
talked about. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the key is just trying to find some separation between those things. So you got a lot of pressure. You want to win the game. I can tell you're a competitive person, like I am as well. So you probably want to you'd still be a little frustrated, I'm sure, even without the views and all that because you're competitive. I am the same way. But like you said, it reduces a lot. So so would you agree then? It sounds like your big two triggers are high ranks and growing viewership, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So do you have you how many people leave your stream after you lose a game? Do you know?
It depends on the scenario. It depends on how I lost it. If it was all me, I mean, I don't really look at the view. I try not to look at the view count too much, just because that does psych me out a little bit.
Sure.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah. So we don't know for a fact that people even leave, right?
Technically,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, but it sounds like you have what we call an assumption that if I lose a game, people are going to leave.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of I feel like most of the people that come to my stream, I'm not sure, but I feel like a lot of people do watch me for like the high level gameplay, and if I'm really not on my A game, then I feel like I'm just gonna lose a lot of them.
Hmm. But I think you said that you don't know that for sure, though, right?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yeah. The facts getting in the way of our thoughts, but we don't know that. I mean, it's possible, sure, but we don't know that for sure. I mean, really, the only way we'd know is if you're looking at the view count and measuring. Oh, I'm at 75. Oh, I lost the game. Went down to 73.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
it's not directly for like game by game basis, but I'd
hmm,
say like rank overall definitely does impact my
hmm,
viewership. When I am in like the top 50 or top 100, then I get a dramatically I get a decent amount more viewers than if I am like 500 or something like that.
hmm, sure.
So that may be why like each individual loss feels so bad, because I'm getting farther away from where I want to be in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, and you do. I mean, I've seen that quite a bit also in Hearthstone, so I could see why that would make you feel a lot more pressure. You see when you have more viewers at the higher ranks, and then lower ranks, you're like, okay, this is my viewership. So it's almost there's this thing we call like reframing our thoughts, and so I think the way you're framing this is I'm going to lose viewers if I lose games.
Mhm.
What do you think of the thought of I'm going to gain viewers if I gain ranks?
That's a good thought.
Does that change anything at all?
Uh,
I
that's
mean,
a better way to look at it, I would
I mean,
say.
probably still it doesn't take all the pressure off. I'm sure I can sense, but it's probably feels a little bit better to think that okay, well, every loss is losing viewers, or maybe every win is gaining viewers. So I kind of like that frame. I mean, it's whether it resonates with you or not. I think that's a tool
Mhm.
you could use for that.
I mean, I also just don't want to think about the viewers too much in general,
Yeah,
like the viewer count. So I would rather probably not think of either of those throughout the
sure.
stream.
Yeah. Well, and I like that too. I think that's great. Um, but what I heard is you said, "Hey, when I lose, I'm going to lose ranks, and then I'm going to lose viewers."
Mhm.
So I agree with your approach to not looking at the viewer count, but it sounds like you are thinking about the viewers, or is it really more about the ranks?
Uh, I mean, it's just I guess in the back of my head when I'm playing. Um, but it's just the overall rank, I guess, is just Yeah, I'd probably focus on it too much.
Yeah. So what do you gain by gaining your rank? What all things do you gain with whenever you gain, like you get a rank or like you go up? Obviously viewers, it sounds like, but what
Yeah.
else other than that?
It also puts me closer to just like qualifying for tournaments as well.
Hmm.
Um, I guess just feeling good about where I'm at in the game. I
Hmm.
don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So you really want to hit that top 16 for the Masters tournament qualifier?
Yeah.
Okay. And you haven't hit that yet, and then you're doing like the tournaments too, right? So it's been a while since I've competed the competitive scene, but like you still get like first in one of those tournaments, then you qualify
Yeah.
also. Okay.
Yeah. So time is really running down right now, and there's like 11 days left to either win one of those qualifier tournaments or finish top 16 for the month. And I'm pretty far from top 16, so I've been trying to get back there, and that's adding on a lot of stress to the games right now.
Hmm. So is there a point where you play? Do you know when you play your best? Like when are your optimal times? You seem to win more and lose more.
Uh, I can't really pinpoint uh, those times. It's just I guess when I'm just focusing more on the game.
Hmm. Yeah. I think you said like maybe a little bit when if you play off stream, but you don't play a lot off stream, you play a
Yeah,
little bit better, which I think every single other streamer would say the same thing, me included. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't really play too much off stream because I do stream so much. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So what's more important to you, growing your stream or hitting top 16?
it's the stream.
Stream. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I kind of gathered because you want to you want to gain you want to gain viewers, you want to keep continuing on your dream job, which you're killing it with, and you're playing Hearthstone on stream as opposed to playing Hearthstone off stream.
hmm
Do you know how many of the top 16 people are streamers also? I know the top 16 changes every month, but
um, I feel like a decent amount of them are streamers, but I don't think they stream as much as me. So maybe they play off stream quite a bit.
yeah, yeah, I bet. So they sound like they're probably more committed to getting that top 16, right? They're like, hey, I'm not going to stream as much. This is kind of like, I think the example Ali might have mentioned. Hey, I'm really good at the game. I'm not, it might not be as entertaining, but
Mhm.
I'm, I got to get top 16. I got to, hone my craft. This is my craft. This is what I care about. I care about making it to the Masters tournament more so than building the stream. Like you said, if,
Yeah.
if they cared more about their stream, do you think they'd probably stream more?
Uh, I mean, they still pull a lot of viewers just because of like how good they are. So,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah. That's tough. It's tough to say without,
hmm
interviewing all them, but we can only kind of go off estimates and, guesses such. But so you've pinpointed that your stream is more important than qualifying,
Yeah.
but it's harder to play good Hearthstone on stream. So you got kind of two conflicting goals there. It's tough, right? Because there's only 16 spots, and you've made the commitment to stream every day, and you're
Yeah.
loving that. But now there's this added goal on top of this huge goal of growing your stream, which was growing your stream really easy.
It was not. No.
Yeah, it was not. I imagine. I mean, you had to stream for 365 and continue to get better. Like I said, took the pro quarterback mentality every day to get better.
Mhm.
And I mean, now you've done an amazing job of getting better, but it sounds like there's still more for you. So you have this number one goal of I want to continue to build the stream. But then it sounds like you also had this goal of I need to play as good as possible. I need to be top 16 also.
Yeah. I mean, I've always also dreamed of being uh like an esports player.
Yeah.
Just being an esports. So I guess I do have an esports team, but I also really want to compete. I've always wanted to compete, and competing in the last Masters tournament was really cool, and I enjoyed it a lot. So like I want to do both really badly. Like I care more about the stream, but I
Hmm.
really do want to be at the highest level as well, because like one, because I know I'm at the highest level. Um and I guess that's what also frustrates me, is that I know I'm there, but I'm not there right now. And that is probably due to just like the chat interaction and everything, just
Hmm.
being distracted. But it's still just frustrating to me because I do really want this as well.
Yeah. Um, so what do you think? So I think you pinpointed it. I mean, you're paying attention to the chat, and do all the big streamers that have all their people in their top 16, do they read chat a lot?
They don't. They
They
don't.
don't.
They definitely don't interact with chat as much as I do.
So what's more important to you, interacting with chat or hitting top 16?
It's got to be the chat interaction, because that's part of the stream entertainment and everything.
Hmm. Yeah. So what? Thank you everybody coming from the Guy Grumpy stream. I see everybody in chat too. Welcome everybody. We're just talking about Tilt and Hearthstone. Um, so chat's more important than top 16, but you also had this dream being the esports king. I mean, growing from the bottom to the top. I'm pretty sure Drake rapped about you. Right? So, building the stream and then also being top 16, and you're good enough. You know you're good enough, but there's something keeping you there. And it's no fault of chat, but it's because you want to serve chat. It's really, this is your stream. You want to get people engaged, and you want them to like feel good. And you want them to feel inspired. You've already hearing people feel inspired from your everything you do. I've been inspired as well, and I've been streaming forever. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I feel like another factor that weighs down on me is that like another reason why I want to be at the very top is because of the money. Because I am trying to like save up money to get my own place, and like if I make it to Grandmasters and I make a lot more money, and it's like just like money is not really important to me in life overall, but like right now I feel like I just because like I'm not working a typical job, like I need to be able to sustain on gaming, and I feel like the prize pools that are in these tournaments and everything is that's a lot of money, and that could help me out a lot. So I feel like that adds on to it.
yeah, absolutely. One of the things I do in my normal job is I teach people how to, well, basically I teach people, but I work in a corporate environment. And there's this one experiment we used to do called the Marshmallow Challenge. And it's this really silly little project that people do where they build spaghetti sticks and they have a marshmallow and they have a string. And you just give, out of nowhere, you give people, hey, here's 11 minutes, go build your tall structure. Now, the reason why I tell you about this is he does kind of two experiments where he has one set of people just do it for fun, and one set of people do it for a bunch of money. Which group do you think does better?
The money.
Try again. You'd be surprised.
Mhm.
So, because when there's money on the line and you have to work with a bunch of people and you don't know what you're doing, or I'm not obviously this, you know what you're doing in your craft, but in this situation, these people don't know what they're doing, and they're having to try to figure out, holy crap, there's all this money on the line now, so they start feeling all this pressure. And so when there's that, our brain gets in there and there's always this extra pressure, we have difficulty in performing sometimes when we put that extra pressure on ourselves. And I'm really kind of guessing that's with you as well. I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier. oh, every time I lose, I might be losing viewers or I'm losing ranks. I'm losing my possibility of getting top 16 when I know I'm good enough for that. And I could definitely see your conundrum because you want to interact with chat. You care about chat and you know that's good for your stream. But there's also this golden egg over here. If I hit top 16 and I just crush it, I might get some money. And then I know I can sustain myself and I can get my own place. So every one of those little things is racing in the back of your mind. You realize that?
Yep.
Moving out, making money, top 16. Oh, I lost the game. You suck, Zephyrus. Why didn't I see that line with Inner Fire? I just lost ranks. Am I reading chat? Oh, shoot, I just woke up. I forgot to start stream on time. Maybe that doesn't really give you a lot of pressure, but these are all these thoughts that you're having, and it's completely understandable to feel a bit stressed and a bit tilted. So first of all, forgive yourself for feeling that way. Most people feel, not saying you don't, but a lot of people do feel like, oh, I should not be angry, or I should not be tilted, or I should just do well, I should just win this game. Anytime we use the word should, that's a sign. I like the saying that don't should on yourself. I love it.
I like it too. Yeah.
Yes. So I said should chat.
I use that word a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because should comes from an expectation. Should is like, I should be, living on my own, or I should be making, $50,000 streaming, or I should have 100 viewers. Who says you should? Where does that come from? Who do you think that should comes from?
Wait, repeat that question?
Like anytime you say I should, where does that come from?
That's just coming from you. Like that's your expectations of yourself, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. It comes from yourself. It's like I should.
Yeah.
What says you should? Is there a Twitch rule that says, hey, you should be making $50,000 when you hit this many viewers, or you're guaranteed 100 viewers every day? Are those things guaranteed?
Definitely not.
No, definitely not. And is there a lot of variation in what causes viewers or how much money you make in a month?
Yep, for sure.
Yep. So whenever we should on ourselves. We really just ruin our day when we say that. Mm-hmm. So I definitely encourage you anytime. I don't know, I was kind of thinking about some exercises you could do as far as like during the stream or afterwards, but I would encourage you, if you have like a piece of paper or a journal nearby, have your chat. Anytime you say should, like say, I should be doing this instead. Do you ever say that out loud, or is it all in your head?
I will typically say like, I should have done this, or like, I should have done this. I would have won, or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So you could have like your mods maybe do a should counter, and then anytime you say should, you could take a time out or something like that, and reflect on it. But just an idea. But I'm really worried about the shoulds that you say in your head, that most of us say in our head, where we say, I should be, by now, I should have a sponsorship, or I should have, $100,000, or I should be moved out, or I should have this car, or whatever.
I don't really say any of that at all. I'm just okay. Really like a lot of people will come into my chat and be like, wow, you should have a lot more viewers and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm just doing my thing. And like, when it comes, like, I'm just like looking forward to it, but it's not something that I'm really focused on.
Yeah. So when people say that and you say that, do you believe it? I mean, do you believe what you say, I should say?
Do I believe what I say in response to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I of course want to have more viewers, but I think it'll just come naturally if I put in the work and I really like put out the content that people really want.
Yeah. So we've seen you have a lot of pressure on yourself, and that's kind of the essence of tilt. The closer you are to the championship, or the more writing on the line, the more chance of tilt. and the more chance of getting frustrated. And you got a lot of pressure on yourself. So I want us to figure out a way to take some of that pressure off yourself.
Okay.
So let's come up with a plan. So we've already prioritized stream is number one, at least right now.
Mhm.
The top 16 is number two. Now we have this other thing, this thing that keeps us from getting top 16, we think with focusing on chat or, maybe streaming and playing, but that feeds the streaming side. So is there a way that you think you can still grow the stream and hit top 16 the way things are today? What would you change? What do you think you could change, I should say, that would get you top 16?
It would have to be just interacting with chat less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many hours a day do you play Hearthstone?
Like 6 hours.
6 hours? And you really don't play much after the stream, right? Because you played it all day and
Yeah, not Hearthstone. Yeah, but I'll play other games just casually, pretty much.
So what would happen if you didn't stream Hearthstone? What would happen to your stream?
Like just overall.
Or, I mean, just for like a day or something like that. For a single
Um,
stream, what would happen if you didn't stream Hearthstone?
I mean, I'll definitely lose a decent amount of viewers. I would probably be having more fun overall, just because it's changing it up and it's less stressful because I'm just playing for fun, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess just less viewers, less interaction overall.
So you'd have more fun, but then you think you'd have, but that'd hurt your stream goal, right? You feel like that would hurt your stream goal because you'd have less viewers in chat?
Yeah, that would kind of make me feel a little at the end of the day, just like looking at, how many viewers I had for the stream. I mean, I don't try to check the viewer count too much, but I will check it occasionally, and it would probably lessen my mood a little bit, but I'll still be okay.
Okay. How do you feel about streaming 3 hours of Hearthstone, streaming 3 hours is something fun, and then your game time after stream playing Hearthstone? Does that not feel fun, sustainable? I'm just throwing the idea out there. I'm not saying you need to do it. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, I eventually do want to stream more of a variety of games. I want Hearthstone to still be my main game, but
Yeah.
I would like to play play other games in general on stream. I don't know about Hearthstone off stream still, even though I do want to get the top ranks. I still just really would rather be doing something else. And if I was going to play Hearthstone, I do want to do it on stream just because I enjoy it more, I think.
Sure. Hence, that's the Hearthstone dilemma. I mean, you and every other Hearthstone streamer's been there. I've been there myself. So we're kind of at an impasse here. We want to get top 16, which means you have to really, really, really commit to competitive Hearthstone. But you really want to grow the stream, which kind of implies that I need to play Hearthstone. But I might not have as much fun on stream. But I don't want to play Hearthstone off stream.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I want to be like the new David Letterman, but I also want to be Tom Brady.
A little extreme, but
well, it's very extreme. Yeah, I mean, I'm just using it for example. So, but you see what I mean, though? I want to be really good at one thing, and then I want to be really, really good at the other thing too.
Yeah,
and,
I realize it's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just that I just want both of them. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just maybe expectations.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say expectations because I think you said I should be top 16. Or I think you feel like you are good enough to be top 16, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, like you said, one of the things that people in the top 16 do is they do things kind of the opposite of you. They don't read chat, they don't stream as much, they play Hearthstone off stream. And that doesn't sound appealing to you, right?
No, I mean, there's definitely people that are at the top level that do read chat, but still not as much as me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not what I really want to do.
Yeah. So, now think about how much work you did to get your stream up to do what you did. You stream 6 hours a day, and then it sounds like you watch your VODs, and then you watch other Twitch streams as well, and kind of studied it, right?
Hmm.
So there's a reason why. I mean, this is kind of coming full circle. The part of the reason why I use the Tom Brady analogy is, like I said, you were like an NFL quarterback on one goal on streaming, right? You're like, I'm gonna stream 6 hours. I'm gonna look at my game tape. I'm gonna see how other people do it. You're spending all this time. You're probably spending, I'm sure, 7, 8, 9 hours a day on that one really good goal.
Yep.
And how many hours do you sleep a night?
Uh, 9 hours, 10 hours.
It's good. So we'll call it even 9. So that's
I
18
would say
hours.
I would say more 10,
10.
but
Okay, perfect. Good. So 19 hours of your day, for at least that period of time, was probably associated for Hearthstone and sleep. Would you agree with that? At least during points of where you're growing, would you agree that you spent about 9 hours on Hearthstone and this
yeah.
and the studying the stream and stuff like that?
I
So you
mean,
have
or just like stream related things. Yeah.
yeah. So then you have 5 hours left in your day.
Hmm.
What do you do with those last 5 hours?
Well, I am a founder of an esports team, so I
Yeah.
do I do a lot with that
Huh.
as well. And there's a bunch of other things I want to do that I just feel like I don't have time to do. But I do procrastinate quite a bit. I was saying it towards the beginning of the stream. I am a pretty lazy person, or at least I consider myself a lazy person, even though I probably shouldn't consider myself that because then get into that mindset. But um, I there's points where I just feel like just doing nothing and just watching YouTube videos and just relaxing, just like eating snacks and just hanging out. Even though but when I do stuff like that, then I feel like I should be doing something else, like making a YouTube video or trying to come up with like a an idea for my stream or something.
Did you
But
hear
yeah.
yourself shit on yourself? You just shit it all over
Yeah.
yourself. No, that's all right.
I did, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. We all do that. Yeah, there's so many things you want to do.
Yeah.
And apparently you're lazy. I mean, somebody that just streams 6 hours a day times 365 days is
I
you'd
mean, it
call that
doesn't feel
lazy,
like
huh?
work to me though. It just feels like I'm just playing. I'm just having a good time. Um so yeah, I don't know.
Feels like playing, but so even when you're playing Hearthstone, which sounds like you like Hearthstone, but sounds like it's not always the most enjoyable. Sometimes you'd rather be doing something else. You'd rather be playing some other games. You'd rather be having fun games with chat. So you wouldn't consider that work.
I consider it work, but it doesn't feel like work, so maybe that's why it feels like I should be doing something productive like for the rest of my time and of the day. I don't know.
Okay. I heard another should in there. There you go. There you go. Sheep's got it. Yep.
Mm,
So you got a lot of pressure on yourself, D.
a little bit.
Yeah. And where's that pressure coming from?
maybe just my desire to do so many things.
Yeah, it's coming from you. And so I think we should chat some more off stream. This is kind of a tough one to solve, but this is I think you can see though all the pressure that you have on yourself. So I like the should counter, but I like it more kind of on your own. So this is an exercise I've done before. I think just about any coach would have anybody do it. Have you ever journaled before, or do you have? Well, I should just ask. Have you ever journaled before?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think most people have. That's totally fine. Um, do you have like a whiteboard, or do you have like any piece of paper or pen anywhere nearby your stream?
I mean, I usually write stuff on my notepad on my computer. Uh, but I have paper and pens near me. Yes.
Okay. Well, you don't have to agree to it, but I would encourage you, anytime you say the word should, you catch yourself, write out, I should, be top 16. I should do this. And just recognize it and say, okay, how does this make me feel?
Like, so I'm writing out the whole sentence that I included should in, or I'm just.
Yeah, I would say, because I think the shoulds that you say on stream aren't as bad for you, your psyche that is, as the should you're giving yourself. Like, I should be making more money, or I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should be doing this for the esports team. And there's only 24 hours in the day, and you're spending quite a bit of them on stream and sleeping, which I like that you're sleeping 10 hours. That's awesome, because your body probably needs all that. Streaming's exhausting. Don't forget about that. I mean, I know to you it's plain, yeah, but you would agree it's exhausting. This is exhausting to me. Like, I love coaching, but as soon as this stream goes off, my brain's going to be like, whom, 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 and then combining streaming with it. So I would encourage you to, whenever you catch yourself to say, I should, pause in the moment. You can write it out, say how it makes you feel, and then let it go. And really what I mean by let it go is you really decide, is this the most important thing for me to focus on? Because it sounds like it's the stream. Your stream and your stream growth is the most important thing. But, your priorities can change. So, and you're very focused on what you do, and you want to get really good at it. But you're human, and we've already kind of talked about like how distractions, how pressure makes us as humans perform worse. Like in my example with the marshmallow challenge, if we have more pressure on ourselves, we're going to perform worse. So when you have all that extra pressure, do you feel that pressure during Hearthstone? And sometimes make a bad play because of it?
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe?
a little bit.
Okay. So do you think having less pressure on yourself, you play better or worse? Or the same?
I mean, I'd probably play better, yes.
Okay. So can you see a little bit how having a little bit less pressure on yourself might benefit you?
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I have to work on.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm here for you. I'm only a DM away, so I'm always happy to just chat with you on that. But I mean, I want you to be self-sufficient. That's part of coaching, is letting you try this. So I really encourage you to write down your shoulds, what you said in your should, how that makes you feel, and then let's take a step back. Is this the most important thing to me right now? Now, I'm sure what you're probably thinking is, well, I can have more than one thing that's important to me, right?
Yeah.
So you
I
can.
feel like I'm gonna
Go
write
ahead.
down these shoulds, and I'm going to still be saying that I should be doing this other stuff, or that I should be being more productive and everything, and then it's just not gonna happen, and then I'll be just upset with myself. That's like the loop for me.
I got you. Okay. So that's definitely not what we want. We don't. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So I think the key here is, so let's do a different exercise. Let's do an exercise where you write out all the things that you want. Maybe, do you already have like a priority list
In my head, I guess.
in your head? So I would really encourage you to type it out or write it out. Write out your priorities. You know, all those things that you wrote about. Stream, making money, being top 16, doing this, doing that. Write out all those things. Give yourself like,
Be a lot.
yeah, that's all in your brain.
Mhm.
And our thoughts play such a huge factor in our pressure, our stress. And that's why I have you write this down. And I agree. I mean, I know I make the joke that journaling, it's not just for cat ladies anymore, because I think a lot of times when we hear about journaling, it's only girls in high school or whatever, but it's really powerful. When there's something magical about writing stuff out, especially on pen and paper. Sometimes you can do it with like a spreadsheet or whatever, but if you write those things out, it takes it out of your head. So let's do the assignment of you write out a priority list of all those things that you want to do or you think you should. And then I would also write, prioritize them. And then let's say how many hours a day are you spending on each of those?
Okay.
And that's your homework assignment. I want to see it next Sunday in my DMs. So
Okay.
you got a week to think about it.
It's a deal.
And we don't have to share it on stream or whatever. We can just be between you and I. But I think that'd be really good for you to do, to see all the things that are circling in your head. Because
It's gonna be a lot.
no wonder you need 10 hours of sleep, man. You got so much pressure on yourself. You got the weight of the world on yourself, man. Yeah, cool, man. Well, thanks for being on the show. Let me take some questions. Are you okay with taking questions? I know we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go to questions in chat and then we'll call the stream because
Actually, if you don't mind me just refilling my water.
Yeah,
real
go
quick.
for it. Yeah. Yeah. There's homework. Every coaching stream. I mean, it's whether you want to do it or not. You don't have to, but I want to throw it there. So, all right. Thank you guys for chatting. You guys have been amazing, by the way. Let's see. I'm catching up on chat. Not a lawyer. Just don't write anything down that can be held against you in the court of law, court of Twitter, or held against you by the thought police. That's fair. Do different Hearthstone metas cause different levels of stress? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I'll try to ask him that when he comes back. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Nick should banned his channel. That's got to be exhausting, Ryu. I should be writing down. Yeah, we should all be writing down our should. So it's part of our society is we have such huge expectations on ourselves that we feel like, oh, I should be doing this. It's kind of our culture, especially here in the U.S. We feel like we're never doing enough, and we should be taking breaks. Even I just had the same thing as I'm building my business over the last couple of weeks. I got to a point where I'm getting like I get into my throat, where my throat starts getting like hoarse. Plus, I use my voice a lot, but like when I'm overdoing it, like when I get in my like build a business mode, when I get business focused, I am just like I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. I'll say I should, but I finally got to a point where I started feeling in my body, and I'm like, okay, hold on, I need to take a step back. And I took some time to look at some articles and recognize, hey, it's okay to take a rest day. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to not work in your business every day. Things are going to happen. I'm going to live for at least another 230 years, I feel like. So maybe less than that. Maybe like only another 50 years, but I'm going to live for a while. I got some time. So there was a really good question here I want to ask you.
Okay.
Ryu Warrior has 256 questions for you. We may not get to all those, Ryu, but so let's see. So his first question from Star Fox is, do different Hearthstone metas cause different levels of stress for you?
I guess so, yes, because maybe I'm not as good in a certain meta, just because I don't play the decks as well. So then it just gets into that competitive kind of pressure, and it makes me more stressed out. Yeah.
Yeah. Guy Grumpy wants to know, what platform do you prefer, YouTube or TikTok?
As far as posting content, or digesting content.
Yeah, let's go digesting content because that sounds more interesting.
Both of them are YouTube, I would say. Yeah.
Both are YouTube. Okay. All right. Let's see. If you had to cut one thing out of your daily schedule to make more room for everything else, what would that one thing be, D Money? That's a good question, Star Fox.
To cut one thing out,
Yeah.
it's tough because I don't really have like a daily schedule. That's also something that I would like to work on doing for myself because
Yeah.
I really just do whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that causes me to be less productive overall. So I had recently started making a list on my notepad on my computer of like a to-do list, and I just add things whenever it comes up, and then I'll just cross those off like every
Yeah.
night, so cross them off.
Yeah. I,
Um,
oh, go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
No, that's different.
Yeah. So I like that direction. I think it sounds overwhelming to most people to schedule out your day, especially with everything you're doing. But I think that's a good maybe next step. I definitely think prioritizing first, though, like our homework assignment, I think would be a good first step because how do you know what you should spend your time on if you don't know what's the most important thing to you?
Yeah.
So I think this is a perfect segue into that. So, yeah, if D Money was a Pokemon, which one would you be? That's best question of the day right there.
That's the toughest one I've heard all day, actually. Uh, it would have to be. It'd have to be a Snorlax, probably.
Yeah,
Just
Snorlax.
because I'm just hanging out. I'm just here. What's
Okay,
up, guys?
I skipped a few questions. So let's see. Ryu would inspire to become a streamer. I think you kind of talked about that. That was like your passion. You knew you wanted to be a streamer from a young age, right?
I mean, not too young of an age,
Yeah.
but sure, yeah. Whenever I saw when I saw that you could really stream as like a job, that's when I knew I wanted to be a streamer.
Sheep ask, what is your vision for your future, like 1 to 2 years down the road for stream, personal, professional? That's a great question. I love that.
Ideally, I'd like my stream to be at a point where I can switch to other games besides Hearthstone and still maintain that viewership that I want. And personal wise, I mean, I'd like to be in a relationship and be like in a serious kind of relationship, have my own place. Uh, Nothing else that I really want, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. See, just sheep sparking that question just gave you more priority things to put in your list that you just you'll probably want to put on there. So, yeah, good. Let's see. I forgot to ask, and this kind of goes to Tungsten's question. So let me ask Tungsten's first. During his next subathon, at what amount of subs would he require to make an OnlyFans asking for a friend?
uh, I don't know. I'm not making an OnlyFans. I'm sorry.
It's probably the right decision. Hey, Superior David. And thank you again, Guy Grumpy, for the raid earlier. I wanted to stay focused on D Money. Bring up music goals today. Yeah, did you still have your music goals? So you've been recorded. You've recorded an album, right? Or where are you
Yeah,
on the?
I've recorded 7 songs. I have 7 songs on all platforms. And 6 out of the 7, I recorded in a like a professional studio with a producer. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And I really would like to do that again. But it's just very expensive to book studio time and work with a producer. So I just don't really want to invest that money into it, even though I have producers that want to work with me, and I could probably work with them for free or a little charge. I just have to do it. I just have to record basically, and like I have songs. I have more songs written out. It's just recording in my room is not really it's not as comfortable for me as being in a studio. Uh, Mainly because I have my parents that I live with, so I feel like sometimes I can't really be myself with my music.
Hmm.
So I do really want to record new music though. That's on my list of things that I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ryu asked, what streamers did you study to learn from before you started streaming?
Mighty Rye. That's
Yeah. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
uh I guess people like Soda Poppin'. Um I didn't really watch too many streamers. I think the first Hearthstone streamer that I watched was Reynad, and he gets really salty at games, and that kind of
Mhm.
resonates with me. He has kind of like the same mentality sometimes. Um, yeah, I guess I like people like Soda Pop and that really put themselves out there and just really try to entertain as like the top priority.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard of Soda Pop, but I've never actually watched them before. Um, so it sounds like a good person to learn after, and obviously you've done amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. So I think that's a lot of great questions from chat. Thank you guys. Oh, we got one more, and then we're gonna call it for a stream because I've been taking up a lot of your time. So fun question for Dmoney. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it pleasure you to bring? Does it bring you when you ooze or sticky finger Jay Alexander? On a scale of 1 to 10,
It's got to be a 10.
it's got to be a 10. I feel like that's almost 11 actually. So
Yes, it probably is. Yeah.
11 out of 10. Well, D-Money, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it. I'm inspired by all the hard work you've done. I didn't know all the other stuff you've been doing, man. It's awesome. It's truly inspiring, man. So
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And it does mean a lot to me that I can inspire you, and you honestly inspire me too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
man. I'm always here for you, buddy. So like you said, we're friends. So I'm excited. Like I know talent. This is the name dropping portion of the stream too, by the way. But I've while I haven't been the quote unquote big streamer before, I have been in the Hearthstone community for a long time, and I have found myself to some really successful streamers. And I feel like, and this might just be in my own little head, but I've had the good fortune of, kind of being on the ground level of like Regis Kilbin and Slissa. Like I followed them for a very, very long time. I think Slissa was partnered, but she had smaller amount of viewers. I'm like, oh, she's good, and I can see her tenacity, and I see that in you too. And like Regis has that also. Like he's just like he is, yeah, super focused, and you got that. And I know it's going to work out really well for you. You just if you want to make this a career, you got to take the pressure off yourself, and we're going to do that. We're going to take
well, now
that
you're
pressure
putting
off
even
yourself.
more pressure on me.
No, that's down the road.
Be really big now.
Well, you'll be big when it's going to come. I just know you have the talent, is what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be disappointed if anything else happens. I mean, you've already made it big in my eyes, in my opinion. You got the
Yeah.
partner check mark. Everything else is icing on the cake. But I know you have even more potential. It's whatever priority matters the most to you. If it's continue to grow the stream, is it be top 16? Is it buy a house? And it doesn't matter what I think you're going to be. It matters what you think you're going to be. Everybody else, all the other expectations don't really end up mattering. They kind of do because they put pressure on us, but that's them. You're you. If you say I'm done streaming tomorrow, I'm gonna, I want to be a car salesman really bad. This is my really true passion. Go do it, man. We'll still love you. We'll respect you.
I've thought about it.
Yeah, you've got no. I was gonna joke and say you had the car salesman vibe, but that's not even close to true.
I mean, I
So,
had always wanted to be in sales and everything, so, but probably not car sales. Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Keep killing it. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you come up with your homework. And I actually have a template. I can't remember if I sent it to you, but I created a kind of a streamer template. I could share that with you if Guy Grumpy hasn't already shared it with you, but I can share it with you. It's just a spreadsheet that I made. I'm a huge spreadsheet geek, so not everybody likes to look at them, but maybe it's something to help you with planning out your day a little bit. So,
I'm
but no
pretty bad
worries.
with spreadsheets, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I would check it out, and if it's easy to use, I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you how to do it in less than a minute. So, uh,
All
cool.
right.
Well, thank you so much for being on. Thank you, chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here.